If you are over 50 and struggling to lose weight, let me assure you, you're not alone. Millions of seniors across the world share the same story. You start a new diet, you walk around the block, you cut back on bread and sweets, but the number on the scale barely budges. For some people, the scale even creeps upward, no matter how disciplined they try to be. It's easy to believe this must be your fault. After all, doctors and magazines have been saying the same thing for decades. Eat less and move more. If only it were that simple. The truth is, if you are over 50 and carrying stubborn weight around your belly, hips, or thighs, your body is facing a very different challenge than it did in your 20s or 30s. And here's the surprising part. The challenge isn't just a slower metabolism. According to Dr. Benjamin Bickman, a metabolic scientist and author of Why We Get Sick, the real culprit is a single hormone that acts like a switch for your metabolism. That hormone is insulin. Dr. Bickman explains that when insulin is even slightly elevated, fat burning shuts down completely. It doesn't matter how many salads you eat or how long you walk. If insulin is high, your body simply refuses to tap into stored fat. The National Institutes of Health has confirmed in multiple studies that this hormone plays a central role in weight regulation. Elevated insulin doesn't just block fat burning. It also increases hunger, cravings, and fatigue. That means you can feel hungrier while eating less, more tired even when you rest, and constantly discouraged because your body is not cooperating. Here's the truly shocking part. Most people over 50 are unknowingly triggering insulin spikes several times a day. It happens when you eat bread before protein. It happens when you snack at night in front of the television. It even happens when you eat diet foods that look healthy but are secretly loaded with hidden sugars. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain. You'll learn why weight loss after 50 is so difficult, how insulin silently sabotages your efforts, the biggest mistakes you may be making without realizing it, and 5 simple steps you can start today to flip the fat-burning switch back on. By the end, you'll understand why weight loss is not about willpower. It's about working with your hormones, not against them. Why weight loss gets harder. After 50. Picture this. When you were 25, you might have gained a few pounds after the holidays, but all it took was a week of smaller meals and a few trips to the gym, and the weight came right off. Now, in your 50s or 60s, those same strategies feel like torture. You skip dessert, you walk around the neighborhood, maybe you even try skipping breakfast, and still the belly fat clings stubbornly. Why? Part of the answer is natural aging. After the age of 40, we begin to lose muscle mass every decade. This condition, called sarcopenia, means our bodies burn fewer calories at rest. Hormones shift too. For women, estrogen levels drop after menopause, which changes where fat is stored, often moving more toward the midsection. For men, testosterone levels decline slowly, which makes it harder to maintain muscle and easier to gain fat. And of course, many of us simply move less than we used to, spending more time sitting or driving than walking or exercising. But these changes don't explain everything. In fact, they only scratch the surface. Doctors like Jason Fung, author of The Obesity Code, point out that the real reason weight loss gets harder is because of how our bodies respond to insulin as we age. Think about it this way. At 25, your body is very flexible. If you eat a slice of pizza, your muscles quickly soak up the sugar and use it as fuel. Insulin rises for a short while, then falls, and your body can burn fat again. But at 55, the same slice of pizza triggers a bigger insulin spike, and your muscles don't respond as well. They resist taking in the sugar, so insulin works harder, pushing that extra energy into your fat cells. This is why you may feel like you're doing everything right, but the belly fat just won't budge. It's not that your body has stopped burning calories, it's that insulin is keeping the fat gate locked. Even if you eat less, insulin tells your body to hold onto the fat you already have. So while aging does bring changes in muscle, hormones, and activity, the real roadblock to weight loss after 50 is how insulin sensitivity declines with age. This means the same habits that once worked for you no longer produce results, and unless you learn how to manage insulin, the struggle continues. The hidden hormone exposed. Now let's talk more about this hormone, insulin. Most people have heard of it in connection with diabetes, but very few realize it affects everyone, whether you have diabetes or not. Insulin is your body's storage hormone. Imagine you've just eaten a meal. As the food is digested, sugar from carbohydrates enters your bloodstream. Your pancreas releases insulin to move that sugar into your cells so it can be used for energy. This is a healthy, normal process. The problem arises when insulin doesn't get a break. Dr. Sten Ekberg, a former Olympic athlete turned holistic doctor, explains it clearly. You cannot burn fat while insulin is elevated. It's biochemically impossible. Think of insulin as a light switch. When it's up, fat burning is off. When it comes down, fat burning can begin again. Here's the problem for most seniors. Insulin levels never really come down. Years of snacking between meals, eating late at night, and consuming hidden sugars mean your body is constantly flooded with insulin. Instead of turning the switch off and on, it stays stuck in the on position. And as long as insulin is elevated, your body is trapped in storage mode. To make matters worse, insulin doesn't only respond to obvious things like cake and candy. It rises when you eat bread, pasta, rice, and even when you eat diet foods marketed as healthy but filled with starches and hidden sugars. It can even rise from stress because cortisol, the stress hormone, tends to pull insulin up with it. So if you've ever wondered why belly fat clings even when you've cut calories, this is the answer. It's not about eating too much. It's about eating in a way that keeps insulin high all the time. And until insulin comes down, your body simply won't release stored fat. How insulin blocks fat burning. To really understand why weight loss stalls after 50, let's use a simple image. Picture your body with two fuel tanks. The first tank is the food you eat, the sugars and carbs that give quick energy. The second tank is your stored fat, the extra pounds you've been trying to lose. Now, here's the problem. Your body doesn't just switch between those tanks freely. Insulin acts like a gatekeeper. When you eat a carb-heavy meal, insulin rises to move that sugar into cells. As long as insulin is up, the gate to the fat tank is locked shut. Your body is forced to use only the food tank. And once that food runs out, instead of tapping into fat, insulin tricks your body into sending hunger signals. You feel the urge to snack again, and the cycle repeats. This is why you can feel constantly hungry even though you're carrying extra fat. It's not that your body doesn't have energy stored. It has plenty. It just can't access it because insulin has locked it away. Research from the Journal of Clinical Investigation found that even small insulin spikes after meals can block fat burning for hours. Imagine what happens when you snack between meals or eat late at night. You're essentially telling your body, stay in storage mode all day and all night. That's why so many people over 50 complain of sluggish mornings, stubborn belly fat, and constant cravings. And insulin doesn't act alone. Cortisol, the stress hormone, often rises when you're under pressure or not sleeping well. Cortisol drags insulin up with it. Belly fat is especially vulnerable because abdominal fat cells have more cortisol receptors than fat cells elsewhere. This is why stress and belly fat go hand in hand. You're not imagining it. Your body is literally designed to store fat around your middle when cortisol and insulin are high together. So when you say, I'm eating less and moving more, but nothing is changing, the problem isn't discipline, it's hormones. The fat-burning tank is there, full of stored energy. But as long as insulin stays elevated, the gate remains locked. The 3 biggest mistakes seniors make. Let's talk about the everyday mistakes that silently keep insulin high. Almost every senior I've worked with makes at least one of these, and correcting them can feel like flipping a hidden switch. The first mistake is starting meals with carbohydrates. Think about a classic dinner. You sit down and the first thing on the table is bread or rice. You dig in and those carbs hit your bloodstream right away. Blood sugar shoots up, insulin follows, and fat burning shuts down. Even if the rest of your meal is healthy, chicken, vegetables, maybe some fruit, the damage is done because the carbs came first. Studies show that when people start with protein or vegetables before eating carbs, their insulin response drops by almost 40%. That's not a small change. That's the difference between your body burning fuel smoothly or being trapped in storage for hours. Imagine if all you did was flip the order of your meal. Protein and vegetables first, carbs last. That one shift could make a major difference without changing what's on your plate. The second mistake is eating late at night. Many seniors enjoy a small snack before bed. It might be a glass of milk, a few crackers, or even a piece of fruit. But that bedtime snack keeps insulin high when your body is supposed to be resting. Instead of repairing tissues and burning fat during sleep, your body is busy digesting. You wake up tired, bloated, and with belly fat that feels even harder to lose. The truth is, one late-night snack can cancel out an entire night of fat burning. The third mistake is trusting diet foods. Low-fat yogurts, granola bars, healthy cereals, they're marketed as good for you, but many are loaded with hidden sugars and starches. In fact, some spike insulin more than desserts. Seniors who switch to these products thinking they're making better choices often find their weight stalls. Labels can be misleading. The ingredient list tells the real story. These three mistakes, carbs first, late-night eating, and diet foods, seem small, but together they keep insulin elevated all day and all night, making fat loss impossible. Correcting them doesn't mean giving up your favorite foods. It just means eating them in a smarter way. The 5 steps to flip the fat-burning switch. So how do you actually lower insulin and unlock fat burning again? The good news is you don't need extreme diets, expensive supplements, or punishing workouts. What you need are 5 simple science-backed steps that work with your body's natural design. Step 1 is to start your meals with protein. This is the simplest and most powerful change you can make. When you eat protein first, chicken, fish, eggs, beans, it slows digestion and reduces blood sugar spikes. Follow that with vegetables and save carbs for last. Studies show this can cut insulin spikes by nearly 40%. You're not avoiding carbs completely, you're just teaching your body to handle them better. Step 2 is to keep carbs under control. That doesn't mean cutting them out entirely, but most people over 50 see results when they stay under 100 grams of carbs per day. If you want faster progress, aim closer to 50 grams. Replace processed carbs like bread and pasta with nutrient-rich options like leafy greens, eggs, and healthy fats. These foods keep insulin stable and energy steady. Step 3 is to practice simple overnight fasting. You don't have to skip meals or starve yourself. Just stop eating 3 hours before bed. That creates a natural 12 to 16-hour fasting window. During that time, insulin comes down, growth hormone rises, and your body gets the chance to burn fat instead of storing it. Seniors who try this often report better sleep, less bloating, and more energy in the morning. Step 4 is to move after meals. This doesn't have to be a workout. A 10 to 20-minute walk after dinner lowers blood sugar by nearly 20%. If walking isn't possible, even standing up, stretching, or doing gentle calf raises can help. Movement tells your muscles to soak up sugar directly, without needing insulin. That means less storage and more burning. Step 5 is to prioritize deep sleep. Sleep is when your body does its best fat burning and repair work. Poor sleep raises cortisol, and high cortisol pulls insulin up with it, trapping you in fat storage. By creating a relaxing bedtime routine, keeping your bedroom dark and cool, and avoiding late-night snacks, you allow your body to release growth hormone, a natural fat-burning hormone. When you combine these 5 steps, you create the perfect environment for your body to reset. Protein first, carbs controlled, overnight fasting, gentle movement, and good sleep. Together, they lower insulin, open the fat-burning gate, and give you back the ability to lose weight naturally. The 7-Day Challenge. Now, I want to invite you to do something simple but powerful. A 7-day challenge that could change how you feel about your body and your energy. Think of it as a short experiment, not a lifelong commitment. You don't need to buy special foods, sign up for a program, or starve yourself. All you have to do is follow the 5 steps we've talked about for just 1 week and see how your body responds. Let's walk through what those 7 days might look like. On the very first day, you'll start by rearranging your meals. Instead of reaching for bread, rice, or potatoes first, you'll begin with protein. That could be a piece of chicken, some eggs, a slice of fish, or even beans if you prefer plant-based foods. After protein, you'll add vegetables, and only then will you enjoy your carbs. This one small change will begin to calm insulin spikes, even at your very first meal. Next, you'll keep an eye on your carbs for the day. You don't have to count every gram if that feels overwhelming, but simply being mindful makes a difference. Choose fewer processed carbs and more whole foods. Maybe instead of a big bowl of pasta, you go for half the portion and fill the rest of your plate with colorful vegetables. Instead of snacking on cookies or crackers, you might try a handful of nuts or a boiled egg. On that first evening, you'll stop eating 3 hours before bed. This can feel unusual at first, especially if you're used to having a bedtime snack, but your body will thank you. By giving your digestive system a break, you allow insulin to come down overnight. You'll likely wake up the next morning feeling lighter and less bloated. During the week after your largest meal, often dinner, you'll add a short walk. It doesn't have to be long or intense. 10 to 15 minutes around the block is enough. If walking outside isn't possible, you can march gently in place, move your arms, or do simple chair exercises. The point is to get your muscles working so they can soak up sugar directly, lowering insulin naturally. And finally, you'll focus on sleep. That means turning off screens an hour before bed, dimming the lights, and maybe sipping a calming herbal tea. You'll avoid that late-night snack, and by doing so, you'll give your body permission to enter deep, restorative sleep. This is when growth hormone rises and your body burns fat most effectively. Now here's what you can expect as the days go by. By day 2 or 3, many people notice their cravings begin to change. The constant urge for snacks between meals starts to fade because insulin is no longer keeping hunger signals on overdrive. By day 4, your energy may feel steadier throughout the day. Instead of crashing mid-afternoon, you might find you can focus longer and stay active with less fatigue. By the end of the week, some people notice their clothes fitting a little looser, especially around the waistline, while others simply feel lighter and more refreshed. The beauty of this challenge is that it isn't about perfection. You don't need to follow every step flawlessly. Even if you only manage 4 out of 5, you'll still notice improvements. Each small step lowers insulin and nudges your body closer to fat burning. And here's the best part. 7 days is long enough to feel results, but short enough to commit without fear. Once you see what your body can do in just a week, you'll be motivated to keep going. Many seniors who try this experiment realize they don't need extreme diets or expensive programs. They simply need to work with their hormones, not against them. So I encourage you, give yourself these 7 days. Call it a gift to your future self. At the end of the week, reflect on how you feel. Notice your energy in the morning. Notice how your cravings have shifted. Notice whether your belly feels different in your clothes. And then decide for yourself if this is worth continuing. Because the truth is, your body is ready to change. It's just waiting for the right signals. And these 7 days are your chance to finally flip the fat-burning switch back on. Taking back control after 50. So let's bring it all together. Weight loss after 50 isn't about starving yourself or forcing your body through punishing workouts. It's about understanding the master switch inside your body. That switch is insulin. When insulin is high, fat burning is turned off. When insulin comes down, your body can finally tap into the stored energy it's been holding on to. By avoiding the 3 big mistakes, carbs first, late night eating, and trusting diet foods, and by following the 5 simple steps, protein first, carb control, fasting, gentle movement, and sleep, you can flip that switch back into fat-burning mode. And remember this, it's never too late. Your body is not broken. It's not working against you. It just needs the right signals. Once you provide them, you'll be amazed at how quickly your energy returns, how cravings fade, and how stubborn fat finally begins to move. If you found this video helpful, share it with a friend who's also struggling with weight loss after 50. Leave a comment about your own experience. What's the hardest part of losing weight for you? And don't forget to subscribe for more simple, science-backed strategies to stay strong, healthy, and confident at any age. Because weight loss after 50 isn't about willpower. It's about working with your body's design. And when you do, everything changes.